In the routines area, if we come over here to the routines, and I'm going to open this up just so that you guys see this. Go into the routines. There are lots of these in my account. You may not have, you may have few, you may not have any if you've not done any of the routines yet, but we'll alleviate that here very shortly. What you can do is come up here into the new routine. And the routine, again, is saying, okay, whenever something happens, what do I want it to routinely do? What do I want it to do for me, potentially automatically? Whenever you click on that new routine, it gives you 3 different options right now. There's a couple more coming, but the reminder routine is the simplest way to set this up. So if you come into a reminder routine, you can go into any of your contact, property, listing, transaction. If you have projects will be on there. And you can then pick whatever date field that you want a reminder on. So if you fill in a certain date field in the contact record for a attendee enter date or event date or something like that, whatever date you've gotten, and it may be a custom date that you've created so that it puts it in there, that it then puts that that date into your calendar for that person or that property or that transaction for you automatically. Now, you could also indicate that it's not just you, but maybe certain team members. If you're part of a team, you can certainly do that as well. So let's just, for instance, let's say follow-up date. Now, I'm not sure that I've got one. Let me just go ahead and create this real quick. So whenever I choose follow-up date for contacts, it kind of does the quick and dirty of, it creates a routine, it creates the activity in that routine. And if I was to drill down into that, I can see 0 days after the follow-up date at the appropriate time, the activity time. It'll do a 60-minute by default. You may want to do 30 minutes or whatever default you typically want there. It doesn't really matter once you set up the routine. It's just how much space in the calendar that it takes up, unless it's a specific start and end time that you can assign. But it goes ahead and puts you as the which calendar do I put it on? This is basically which resource or which team member is supposed to be getting this put onto their calendar. Well, by default, it puts it in as you because you've created the routine. If there are other team members that you need to be made aware of this activity, whatever it is, then you just come in here and you select the other names that goes along with it. There are some extra things on here. I'm going to cover what those are, but right now, just worry about the blue ones, the other people on your team that needs to know about this. So you could assign that and click on save. So now you've created an activity within the routine that's going to get put onto your calendar anytime that this particular date field is filled in for a contact or a property or transaction, whatever's selected right here. Does that all make sense? Now, the question is, why do we do this? Well, we do this because there are processes that may get done that, especially if you're in a team situation where as soon as I put in a date, I need my assistant to do something. It doesn't need to go onto my calendar necessarily. So you get to create those instances where those activities, whenever they do get created, who does them? And in that case, it would be your assistant. In this case, it's set up for me. So the follow-up date's on there. So let's just say, for instance, I go to my contacts now, and let me go to James Garfield, and we go to the important dates, and I go to follow-up date, and I set it up for, say, Friday the 16th at 3 o'clock p.m. Okay, so at the point at which I enter that date into the system, it immediately saves it to the server, to Sam, and Sam then says, oh, we've got a trigger on this. The trigger is start this follow-up routine, and that routine then gets created. Whenever I go over here to my routine list, I'll see that it did follow-up date. And when did it do it, as far as when did it start that routine, which was 1:12, which is current time. If I go to my calendar now, you'll see that there is a follow-up date item put on there at 3 o'clock for 30 minutes. I guess I do already have some kind of piece on there because there's, I was thinking I did, because there's also a follow-up checklist as well. So, so you can set up as many different routines for the different things that you want to do. Okay, so yeah, I had add a call list checklist. So actually it went through and it did the follow-up date, and it also added the checklist because I actually have two routines running at the same time. One of the things that you can do is once you've created this follow-up date, and that's really kind of what this one was about, was maybe there's things that you routinely want to do in the event that I fill out that date. Well, one day before, I want to have a checklist of things that I want to make sure I do before that activity is actually done. So it can, not only do I put in the activity date and it creates the reminder, I might also want it to go, a day before or 2 days before or whatever, and do some activities. Or maybe I want to go in there and say, one day after that, I want to do certain things, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. So that's the idea of creating processes in your business, so that whenever I enter that date, as soon as I enter that date, it starts that process automatically, and then goes through and runs that process to either remind you to do things before, during, or after the entire activity. One of the challenges that you get is if you are going to start some of these routines manually, where instead of having it start automatically, and the way it started automatically is setting it to active. If it's an active routine, anytime this date is filled in, it's going to automatically do it. I can turn it off from being automatic, and it puts it down into the manual area, in which case I have to start that routine manually. Don't really like to do that, but there's cases where that's needed. So if that's the case, there may be cases where whenever I start this, I don't necessarily want it to go to a particular person. I may want it to go to a role. And we do have a new feature where you can assign a name to a role that whenever you start it manually, it will pop and ask who's fulfilling this role. Now we do have roles. If this is a listing, if we come in here and just take a look at listings, and I'm going to clear out my search there, listings, transactions, or projects, that if I go into a particular piece here and I go in and look, I can add team members that are roles as well, but these are roles that are part of the party members of a listing or transaction. So if I go in and say, I need this activity to be assigned to whoever the listing coordinator is, potentially you have more than one listing coordinator. Some do, a lot don't. But if you need it to be kind of a variable where it looks in the party members area of a listing or a transaction to find out who that person is. If it's one of your listing coordinators that's put in there, it looks to see, do I have a user assigned to that listing coordinator piece? And if I do, then assign it to that user. So you've got some real power there to be able to either assign to individuals in your database, or you can do it to party members of a listing, property, or transaction piece there. But these assigned users that we just recently added, these are more generic, still team member related, but it may be that you want to use the same routine for everybody in your team. And whenever it goes to start, it needs to, you want to have it ask, who do I want to start it on? Later tonight, I'm going to be pushing out one more update where there'll be an option here for current user. So if I'm the current user, I add the follow-up date into the contact record. Because I'm the current user doing it, it's going to automatically assign it to me. If Cody was to enter that date, then it would assign to him and it would put it into his calendar. So later this afternoon, that should be posted. I'm still doing some finalized testing to get these extra ones in here that are just used whenever you manually start them. You can go into the setup area and then go into menu options. And we now have this manual roles where you're manually selecting a role for a particular activity, in which case I've just got the 3 in there. You could have one for, buyer's agent. Maybe you've got several buyer agents in your team and you want a process to happen anytime the buyer is added into the system, and you assign a certain date field, and the buyer, all your buyer's agents need to do some process. It would allow you to pick which one, or again, after this afternoon's update, it will allow you to use whoever's doing that.
So if you put in a routine that's got like multiple actions on it, and some actions are by like the buyer's agent and some actions are by the transaction coordinator, you go to start it manually, it asks you who is the transaction coordinator, and you can put your name in, and then it doesn't ask you any more questions about the other roles that are there.
Those other roles will come from the party members area. So if I go into it, let's just take this down the road here. So I go into my properties and I go into one of my properties here. And I go into a transaction. If you look here, there's a transaction party
Correct.
members.
Yep.
So if I was to put Cody in here as the transaction coordinator, then whenever that activity gets run, it will look for transaction coordinator in this list, or listing agent, or whatever choice you've chosen, and it will find the appropriate person that's in there. If that person is on your team as
Mhm.
a linked contact record, it will assign it to them for that activity.